Hey everyone, welcome back to my workbench. Uh, it was funny about 2 minutes after I ended the last video, I found the cable I knew I made. It was just off to the right here. So I did spend the last day or so going through and redoing my retro game setup, because I was on a very evil place called Facebook Marketplace, and I saw this nice 13-inch Daewoo CRT, and I don't actually own any CRT. Well, other than my iMac, my old iMac Ruby. It's the only CRT I own, but doesn't do much good. So this is I got myself a new 19-inch. Roll this window up a little bit, make it easier to see. And fix. No, it's not allowing me to change it. Anyways, so um, the I got this nice 13-inch Daewoo, made in 2005, and it's like barely used. The phosphors look absolutely fantastic on here. The colors are super clear. Shows up like absolute crap on cameras because you get the rolling shutter effect with the frame rate of the cameras, and you can see a little rolling right here. The frame rate of the camera combined with uh, the fact that it's electron beam that's scanning. So, which is why I've been fighting trying to find a really good, reliable way to record, get really good screen captures. Some From some systems it looks great, for other ones it looks awful. So I was like, heck with it. Now my camera's pointed. It's this direction here. There's actually my little 10-inch LCD, which has a really good analog decoder built into it for composite, and it gives me a really nice doesn't have a weird rolling effect when I put the camera at it. So I'm going primitive and just pointing the camera. You can see the reflection of my lights up top. So I'll turn it forward facing. Does that help any? That's fine. Um, but yeah, that's what I got going on. But yeah, I finally got myself a CRT. I forgot how nice games look on a smaller CRT. Uh, it's a regular old television set. It is nice though because it has front and rear AV inputs, so fantastic. And I also had a really big improvement. I hooked up my IntelliVision 2 RF output to my VCR. Yes, I have a VCR, and I have a really clean picture. What inputs that? Six. Look how clean that is. That's crazy. I mean, on the CRT and on you can see on my LCD monitor, it looks fan. That's the Intellivision. It looks fantastic. And I got that's my 5200. Great. The blacks are black. Blacks are black here. Looks fantastic. That's my Sega Genesis. That is the composite out as opposed to the uh, come off the VCR. This is number 4 here. This is actually my original 7800, which I'd need to replace the buttons on because it doesn't want to reset. So that's that. And then that's my master system. Let's fire up a game on there. You can see how nice the image is. It's a shame that CRTs do not look good on camera because it looks great on here. How do I keep losing the control for this game? There it is. It's the original Sega Master System controller. USA. Actually, I think Wonder Boy Monster. Oh, one of my favorite games is Wonder Boy Monster Land. This is the second Wonder Boy game. The first Wonder Boy game was kind of like just a platformer that ran left to right. You had a skateboard for some reason, and this is Wonder Boy Monster Land. A little more from their monitoring screen, but so yeah, this is one of my games I grew up with. And I had to hook up the old Altec Lansing speakers to the, because the speaker on the TV is kind of meh, nothing thrilling there. But now I have legit scan lines and everything. But yeah, the only other thing I haven't gotten set up yet is the keep missing that jump. As I did set up. I have a 7800 plus, which is HDMI output, but I have an HDMI to composite converter, and I'm getting one more. I have one, I'm getting one more so I can hook my retro of my Raspberry Pi based stuff to, so I can hook up to the TV. Because I tried that already, and it looks pretty darn good. There it is. That's 40 gold for shield. Yes, it is. But yeah, I'm going to be making, once I get through this crazy batch of controllers, I'm going to go through and start making some new controllers for the 7800 and the Master System. Actually, Sega Genesis. But yeah, I'm going to be building up a little bit a second. Sometimes it's fun just to play games. Sword. So yeah, this is real hardware here. It actually looks really good on the monitoring screen too, but I got camera in the way. I think the color is just a little too bright. That looks better. Yeah, so in a second I'm going to go back to the IntelliVision. So yeah, the Sprint is HDMI output, so I'm going to put a yes I can. The Sprint has a HDMI output, so I'm going to have the Sprint and the 7800 plus on the go from HDMI ironically back to RCA AV output. But again, it's the way I'm doing this setup to make it easier for me to. Wait, I need to make a better pad for this. Better controls for this. But yeah, that's enough for that for now. Yes, it is real hardware here, and then we got that's coming in on the VCR, which looks friggin' fantastic. And then no signal because so yeah, everything's nice. I'll leave it on television for now. So for tonight, so I was talking about before was the. This is actually the kind of the heart of the. You finally get done with the. Like I said, this is actually where the two decks of the keypads come in. So I've just soldered these, and then I have because one is for the columns, one's for the rows. Because even on the original controller, that's how they did it. They had separate columns and rows. So you basically have four electrical connections for each button. So yeah, that is this guy here. So I'm just gonna keep building up this guy, and yeah, that's my new setup. So once I get those other converters in, I'll have my Sprint hooked back up, and then the 7800 Plus will be hooked up. So that'll be cool. Everything will be on the modern. I'll be on the CRT over there. I don't want to burn my CRT in. There we go. Because I can see it on my other monitor over here. But yeah, that is the fun time. So I'm just gonna keep building up tonight, and then I could probably get 3 IntelliVision controllers out. So a left-handed ultimate, right-handed ultimate, and a ambidextrous one. I actually haven't sold one of those in a while, so it's cool actually building one of those again. I don't mind that. But yeah, it's pretty interesting seeing how these all go together again. Again, I forget how nice you can tell these games are all designed for being played on a CRT. And I'm going to pause a second because I need to get some screws. Okay, so my one thing I am trying to figure out is how to get a really good I want a removable 4-way gate for the digital and for the Sprint joysticks. I've noticed I'm not like super duper happy with I'm playing some of the Sprint games, and it's actually pretty difficult to not come off axis if it's like a 4-direction game like Night Stalker. But I noticed it's actually really easy to jump off axis, which I'm sure was the problem with the original controller. So I'm just trying to fix what was broken originally. But yeah, that's one thing I want to come up with a gate that can drop over or around. I almost think it's something that can like butterfly open. Maybe I'm not sure yet. I'm trying to come up with something there to be able to have the option of having a user changeable gate, 4-way gate to make games easier to play. So we'll see. Yeah, so looking forward, I still have a bunch of controllers to get through now, and then I want to get a I really do want to get the 7800 controller and a Genesis controller going too. Yeah, I've been working hard at my day job. It's going through and doing the exciting process of building tonight. So I'll have, yeah, I'm planning on getting 3 controllers out this weekend, and then I'm gonna knock out. Won't take me too long. I want to knock out. I think I got 3 sprint orders, the marathon controllers. Those will be pretty quick to knock out. A lot less complicated. This is by far one in my hand right. This is by far my most complicated controller I make. That's the True 16 Ultimate. Are not the easiest controller to knock out. I wish they were, but they are not. Oh, that's right. I forgot the notches. You have to do give away all my secrets here, so you actually have to notch this sucker out, so you can pass both decks through. This one doesn't need to be beautiful because you're not going to see it anyway. It's hidden underneath the upper deck. I'm super happy to finally just, alright, heck with it. I'll just run the RF through my VCR. I have TV tuners too. Run through my VCR. Okay, wife had some health insurance questions. It's just a little loose here. What's I do? I'm working on this television controller. And I can't, yeah, I was real happy with the new setup. Other range of this weird old school setup with the just taking video of a screen is I don't have to use different, because I have composite and HDMI capture, and I'd rather have it all unified so I don't have to keep bopping between the two or figuring out a good conversion from I have one retro bit converter which works most of the time. It absolutely hates the 7800 output, and it's not the cleanest. I mean, you can see on the IntelliVision it looks perfect. So just doing a straight on was just a straight up composite output. Actually, it's RF too. Composite. It's just using the tuner on the VCR. What brand VCR do I can't even see. I got it at a thrift store for like $5, but it works great. It's a newer one, and I actually honestly forgot they made CRTs up until the like 2006 or so. This TV's only 20 years old, which isn't bad actually, all things considered. Right. That's what I want to do. And I wanted to put a little bit of chamfer on these. I went to the Museum of Science Industry in Chicago today, which is nice. We are members because we live in a suburb of Chicago. And that was cool to see we saw the Anne Frank exhibit again. First time we went, they had these little like electronic, I don't know how to describe them, little audio devices where you go up these little tags, air tags on the floor, and like whoop, and it starts playing whatever thing they want to say. I'd be honest, very distracting, really. This time we said, no, we'll just read like adults, and it's actually much more enjoyable, not having to hold this little thing up to your ear and try to concentrate it, because it kind of took you out of the moment. I much prefer to actually just like be in the moment and enjoy it. It feels like there's a schmutz under there. Yeah, there is actually. That's fine. You are not lying as flat as I want. Yeah, there's a piece of crap under there. There we go. That's fixed. So yeah, that's the got to see the Anne Frank exhibit again. Very interesting. Lots of Nazis. Lots of Nazis. Yeah. Here would you go to the that's the Griffin Museum of Science and History in Chicago. They do have the U505 there as well. It's also very interesting to walk through. It was always a little rushed. I wish they gave you a little more time to like really appreciate the sub. Still stinks of diesel, which I always find fascinating after all these years. The interior just still really smells like diesel fuel. See, when I was a kid, the U505 was still outside. So if you went out to it in winter, ooh boy, it was not well heated. It was cold out there. And same thing with summer. It was hot. Now they have it in a nice, like, looks like it's a reproduction of a German sub 10. So it's one of those things I wish they included with the membership. Maybe there's a higher tier. I don't know. But the one we have, it is not included with the you got to pay your tickets. And Frank, you have to pay too. So not the cheapest museum. But Chicago actually has really nice museums. You got the Art Institute, of course. That's one of the best museums in the world. And you got the Field Museum of Natural History. Then you got the Shed Aquarium. And you have the Adler Planetarium. You have a bunch of, Adler, Shed, and Art Institute, Museum of Contemporary Art, and there's a bunch of smaller museums too, like Surgical Museum. There's also Dry House Museum, and, museums for Native Americans, and there's DuSable Museum. Chicago was actually founded by a Black Frenchman originally. You ever wonder why you see the weird name DuSable? That's the original fur trapper who helped found Chicago. And museum for the Chicago History Museum, which used to be Chicago Historical Society. Been a while since I've been to that one though. You got two zoos. You got Lincoln Park, which is in Lincoln Park in the city, duh. And then you have Brookfield Zoo, which is out in Brookfield, Illinois, which is not a very far suburb. Yeah, doesn't that look nice? Turns out real nice. So, what's this one? built up here. This is the lefty version. So this one's stuck on there real nice. Where did I put it? I actually built up these really kind of cool drill templates so I can get very accurate drill hole placements for these guys. You just have to made up these drill holes here with my catted up drill holes I drill into the system. What I do tend to do is I want to go through here with my little leather punch. Just make the holes just a little bigger. That way they sit flatter when you do the overlays for the 5200 and for the IntelliVision. Doesn't matter for the classic style because that one just uses like a keypad, like a telephone keypad on that one. Old, like that style telephone keypad. Bought myself a mechanical typewriter just for funds, and I ended up having to fix it. I didn't know mechanical typewriters have an escapement, just like a watch, a mechanical watch escapement. Same tooth gear and everything. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. So every time you press a button or a space bar, there's like this escapement that goes chink chink. Yeah, lets the carriage advance. So that's kind of cool. Never knew that. Learned something new. But it needed a tiny bit of adjustment and the tiniest bit of lubrication on the escapement, not the pivot, not the actual escapement itself. And it works nice now. Show it off some other day. Actually, it's back. It's a portable, so it's back in its case right now. Okay, so I'm just building away right now. So at this rate, I will get 3 controllers out this weekend, and then I want to get a handle on the marathons. Those will be pretty fast to get out. So I'm trying to get better at getting everything out the door because I got way too much backlog, and I really like working on some new stuff too. Because I get bored easily, to be perfectly honest. ADD tends to be a little bit of a pain, even with Adderall. Still, your mind is always looking for some new stimulation. Maybe I got something else too. My son's on the spectrum, maybe I am. Who knows? Let's line up nicely there. That looks nice. Right, that's those two. I gotta get the overlay holders, and then I'm gonna finish doing all the wiring on here. Actually, the wiring's not that complicated at this point. It's mostly getting all buttons hooked up, and I have to create one separate harness for each of these because these are the ultimates with the dedicated keypad controls. Looks pretty decent. A little curly in the edges. I don't know why it looks doing that sometimes. It gets held on by the overlay anyway, so it's fine. Alright, I'm gonna oh my goodness, it's 2:30 in the morning. Oh wow. Alright, I should go to bed soon. Everyone, thank you for watching, and hopefully tomorrow these guys will be done. I'll do a final test video on them, and then there's another one, ambidextrous one. That's all cut and everything. I just need to put it all together. And get that one tested and shipped out too. So everyone, thank you for watching, and have a great day.